Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum. Ji ayanu, pakhair agale, ni hao, chunishumme, washmale, ohai gozaimasu, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal? Hale shuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabia, balli kiraya. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning. Alongside the very fantastic, amazing, superb, and a wonderful co-host, ladies and gentlemen. She happens to be Miss Maheen Jaffrey.
Thank you very much,
and
Shahzad.
I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan, and we hope and pray that people out there in 46 different countries are ready to kickstart their day with us. Hello, Maheen.
Hello,
how are
Shahzad.
you doing today?
I'm doing perfectly fine. I'm doing great. In fact, I'm feeling a lot of energy, that the energy that is coming right from you.
Thank you.
And it is so great to be here with all of these wonderful people.
Wow, that's wonderful. And, you know, since we haven't introduced all of these wonderful people, so let's make sure that, you know, we kind of keep it to ourselves as of now, because we have a lot of good news to share. But first things first, Maheen. How do you get started with your day every single day, making sure that you're going to do good in life, that you're going to achieve your goals?
I think the one thing that is very important is to pay gratitude, to feel that everything that you have, that contentment is very important to kickstart your day. And it's like a very positive energy getting into you, and then you're spreading that energy, you're spreading happiness anywhere you're going. You're spreading these vibes, Shahzad.
Wow, it's wonderful. And, you know, ladies and gentlemen, vibes are contagious. Please make sure that you carry a positive vibe, a positive aura. Make sure that whatever you're doing, you have the 100% intent and dedication to do and achieve your goals. Ladies and gentlemen, life, every single day, you have to take a little step towards your goal and make sure that you do it with passion, perseverance, and dedication. Because otherwise, I don't think that it's possible. So every little single day, that little baby step you're going to take will contribute towards where you want to be in your life and where you visualize yourself. And it's very important to have that mindset of visualizing yourself in the first place, and only then you can chase your dreams. Believe me, all right? But first, I think what we need to do is share
some news.
Good news.
Yeah, good news.
Yeah, we only share good news, ladies and gentlemen. So the first up, the good news, ladies and gentlemen, is, do you want to go with that? Or do you want me to go with that?
Yeah,
all right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky, obviously, because Prime Minister Imran Khan has congratulated the entire Muslim Ummah and all over the world as the United Nations adopted a landmark resolution introduced by Pakistan designating March 15th as International Day to combat Islamophobia. And moving on, in a tweet, the Prime Minister said, "Our voice against the rising tide of Islamophobia has been heard, and the UN General Assembly has adopted a landmark resolution introduced by Pakistan on behalf of the OIC."
He also said the United Nations has finally recognized the grave challenge confronting the world related to Islamophobia, respect for religious symbols and practices, and of curtailing systematic hate speech and discrimination against Muslims. Imran Khan said the next challenge is to ensure implementation of this landmark resolution.
Wow, it's just wonderul. And a fair, straight president. Wow, that's wonderful, yeah. I think
finally the voice of Muslim Ummah has been heard, and it is a big landmark achievement, a diplomatic achievement for Pakistan.
Wow, and it's just great. I feel wonderful. Thank you very much, Prime Minister Imran Khan, for giving us that confidence which we always needed, required. And thank you very much for representing the entire Muslim Ummah the way you did. And I think that the world leaders all over the world are actually praising Mr. Imran Khan for the kind of work he has done, ladies and gentlemen. So may you always have good life. That's what we pray for you. And that's what we pray for your political party as well. But moving on, ladies and gentlemen, towards the next good news, that is...
The Embassy of Pakistan in Iraq organized first ever Pakistan single country exhibition in Baghdad. And the opening ceremony was held, and the exhibition will last for next 3 days. 84 leading Pakistani companies and more than 200 businessmen are participating in this exhibition, displaying and promoting Pakistani products.
Wow, you know what, Maheen, the exhibitions are from different cities of Pakistan, covering more than 20 sectors of Pakistani products, including rice, sports, textile, food and grain, cosmetics, well, you might be interested in it, logistics, pharmaceutical, fans, surgical instruments, etc. His Excellency Ayad Alawi, former Prime Minister, and His Excellency Mr. Adnan Darjal, Minister for Youth and Sports, Republic of Iraq, inaugurated the exhibition. The Deputy Secretary General, Council of Ministers, official from Iraqi Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade President, Iraqi Federation of Chambers of Commerce, along with large number of Iraqi businessmen, ambassadors and diplomatic community attended the opening ceremony.
The exhibition will pave the way for Pakistani businessmen to explore Iraqi market and increase trade between the two countries. And also the embassy has arranged B2B meetings for Pakistani businessmen and meetings with different chambers of Iraq.
Wow, wonderful. And one last thing, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistanis cannot keep calm, and it's because of the fact that we were able to draw the second test, which was taking place in National Stadium, Karachi, in between Australia and Pakistan, where Australia had tons of runs on the board, ladies and gentlemen, and it was difficult for us initially. In the first innings, we made 148, where everybody went out. The pitch was a little slippery on a very lighter note as well. But the second innings, wow, I think that we did had men of steel playing for Pakistan, where we really need to kind of say good things and congratulate Mr. Abdullah Shafiq. He was a newbie, to be very honest, after his three first-class matches. He was introduced by Mr. Misbah, and credit is due where it's due as well. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, he was not able to score his second test century, but let's come down to Babar Azam, where when we talk about test cricket, ladies and gentlemen, the partnerships are very important. Babar Azam went away on 196, where it was his sixth test international century once again as well. But moving on, ladies and gentlemen, I think what we really need to consider over here is that the way they played, the resilience they showed, the impact they had, and the superb portray of talent was something which we always wanted, and that's how test cricket will survive, and that's the kind of modern day cricket we were talking about. You guys have done a great deal. Hats off to you guys. Congratulations once again for going. And for Lahore, ladies and gentlemen, the test match will be starting from the 21st of March. Please make sure to tune in on PTV Sports HD, because we will be televising.
Now, what do we have for today's show?
All right, so we have a lot of things, to be very honest, and we every day want to make sure that we kind of contribute towards your knowledge, and it's good. But ladies and gentlemen, since we all know that technology is something which we cannot avoid these days, may it be anything. You know, for example, imagine that you really need to go to Lahore, or you need to go to Karachi, and you do not know how to go. You know, you'll obviously open your Google Maps and make sure that you go. And there was a time when I was in UK, and we used to use TomTom as well. And you know, so technology is everywhere, and it's changing.
It is making our lives easier. It is saving our times, and especially if it comes in health, it is absolutely going to be revolutionary.
Exactly. So before we kind of give away everything, ladies and gentlemen, we really need to make sure that you watch this wonderful video. And then we do have some people traveling to Pakistan because they had to go to Bagh for a team development session. What did they do in Pakistan is something we will be asking them. But first, this video. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. MTBC is a NASDAQ-listed, publicly traded healthcare IT company. We have clients in all 50 states. We provide services to the physicians, to the physician groups, and the hospitals in the USA.
We are now providing healthcare solutions and services in all 50 states of United States. Until now, we have served over 10,000 providers in more than 70 medical specialties with a workforce of 2,300 employees.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we will certainly be in conversation with representatives of
MTBC, of course.
Exactly, and when we talk about MTBC, ladies and gentlemen, it obviously comes down to medical transcription and billing company. And talking about that, obviously, because we mentioned that it's all about technology these days, so ladies and gentlemen, the information technology solutions within healthcare is something which has been provided by this company, and they have definitely made sure that it's going to add on to some convenience, and that it's wonderful and everybody gets the same right. You know, I think that's very important as well. But what are they doing in Pakistan is something which we'll be figuring out. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very lucky that I've been joined by the Vice President Operations, and she happens to be Miss Crystal Williams. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to be here.
Wonderful, and thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Alongside Miss Crystal Williams, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the legal counselor, and she happens to be Miss Shannon Adamson. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having me, Shazad.
Wow, that was wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. You nailed it. You nailed it. And last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the Associate General Counselor and Compliance Officer, Miss Natalie Garcia. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much for joining us. So first things first, I think I'll start with you, Miss Williams, and that is, what brings you to Pakistan?
Team building. I have over 500 employees worldwide, and over 300 of them are located in the Bog location. So we have done some team building exercises, and we actually spoke with over 400 women earlier this week. Yes.
And that's great, and we will certainly dig onto that as well. But moving on to you, Miss Shannon Adamson, you happen to be a legal counsel, and when you work for a company which has more than 3,500 employees all over the world, that's quite a lot of work.
It can be quite a lot of work. It is certainly always interesting. I love going to work because I never know what I'm going to handle. And we're lucky we have a legal team here in Pakistan to assist us as well, because I'm unfortunately not barred here in Pakistan. But it was wonderful to meet with them in person and talk to them face to face and work through some of those issues we deal with.
So and it's cool. And you know what, Maheen, I just realized that you're actually wearing henna on your hand as well. Is it a gift you got in Pakistan?
It isn't. It's a gift we got in Dubai. Actually, the Bedouins did it for us. We were hoping that the girls in Bog might have time, but instead we talked to them about work instead.
Wow, wonderful. So moving on to Miss Natalie. So we certainly want you to kind of give away all the information about MTBC and how it's making sure that it's going to bring in newer information technology solutions for people all over the world so that people have more awareness about it. And, you know, obviously we really need to give due credit to MTBC because they have created a lot of job opportunities over here in Pakistan, because number one, obviously the founder of MTBC has been on the show himself. So if you're watching, sir, I just got to know that you landed in Pakistan. Thank you very much for providing us with this opportunity. So please go ahead and tell us a little about MTBC.
Sure. So we are a healthcare IT company, as you mentioned. That means we do billing as well as software for medical practices. One of the big drives for the company and for all of us is interoperability. And so, you know, from our perspective, the world is a huge village.
Yep.
And so, as you mentioned earlier, technology is everywhere, and we want to make sure people are being connected. It drives a lot of our operations, and so we try really hard to push, you know, healthcare technology as much as we can and make it efficient.
Do you guys make tools like more in hardware, or there must be systems and software? So what do you guys basically do?
So it's software. So if you think of when you go to your doctor's office, they use calendars to schedule appointments. They store your electronic health records into a system. They also have certain billing criteria in order to bill to insurance companies. And so we build all of the software that's behind what makes that engine run.
So it's a lot of cents or pennies behind every bill? Is that what we're talking about? Yes, and it's a big company. And it's a big company. And there's no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, when you have a brilliant idea, all you need to do is, you know, kind of go after execution. And since we have the Vice President of Operations over here, how difficult was it? Because I've seen the company grow from almost 200 employees to 3,500 employees, and for somebody who handles operations, might be a very busy day every single day.
It is. It's very exciting every day. We go in with a plan. We have a strategy. We have key indicators that we need to monitor on a daily basis, but something always comes up that we need to pivot and work on another opportunity that comes our way. With a lot of employees, you have to stay structured, and we do. We make sure every day we have meetings with our overseas staff as well as our US-based staff, and we're connected. They're an extension of us.
And it's wonderful. So, you know, while we talk about operations, you know, you certainly have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. And so I certainly want to bring in how it was very difficult time when people were going through COVID, and alhamdulillah, now things are getting better. So do you think that your company has grown exponentially in COVID times? I shouldn't ask this question, but I have to, since we're a morning show, right? So, and it's good, and everybody's kind of earned quite a lot of good money as well. But when we have a lot of money coming in, it comes in with a lot of responsibility as well. So how do you make sure that your standard operating procedures were in place before you knew that COVID is here?
Yes, well, we did. We have a really great team, a great compliance team, a really strong IT team, and they were able to support us. We were able to have all of our US-based employees 100% remote within 2 days on the weekend. And then we were able to make sure that the work was prioritized. We had good communication with our customers. They were very understanding, and we were the constant for them. Most of our clients, one of them actually did a publication for us recently, and they said that they could focus on their patient care while we focused on the back-end operation.
And it's important.
It is very important. So they were able to open up COVID shops really promptly and focus on how to really take care of those patients. And we handled all the billing and all the different policy changes that happened with the insurance companies due to COVID.
That's lovely. So you guys are here and you visited Azad Jammu Kashmir. You must be knowing a bit about the health system here. So how can we talk about
I mean, I'm not sure whether they are aware of the health system over here or not, because they just came on Monday, I guess. Yeah, I think so. But yeah, please go on.
Yeah, I was talking about medical tourism. How do you see this term if you apply it here in Pakistan? How do you see this?
Anybody? Medical tourism in Pakistan?
Any scope for that?
I don't know that we've had a lot of exposure to that. I will say one thing the employees mentioned that they were really proud of, that they called out as soon as we came in, was the vaccination rate here in Pakistan and how easy it was to do that in Pakistan. We've had to go through rounds of tests to travel here, and MTBC has really facilitated all that. And our counterparts here were very proud that that was provided by the government and it was so easy for them to do. So that's certainly something that was eye-opening and wonderful for us to hear about.
And that's great, which is why I'm going to revert to what I was asking her, because there was a lot of responsibility in COVID times as well, and even universities came up with learning management systems. We got acquainted with Zoom, and the meetings were on Zoom and whatnot. But when we talk about insurance companies, because I'm going to share one of my experiences from US, and that is that so me, my eldest daughter and my wife, we were traveling, and so because she was the first baby we have ever had, and all of a sudden her nose started to bleed, so we had to rush to the hospital emergency. And we came out, so we weren't insured, we were traveling visitors, and the bill was $1,500. Yes. And then the next couple of days we passed by, my wife actually had some itching problem. We went to the hospital again, it was $2,000. And then I was like, hey, you know what, I think I really need to go back home, earn some money, send it to you so that we can survive over here. So how do you think, because as a legal counselor, you really need to be in liaison with the insurance companies as well, and that's what the most difficult part is. A lot of times people are difficult to handle as well. So how do you make sure that from the legal perspective, everything is sorted for every client you have in MTBC?
And so that's actually one of Natalie's main jobs as a compliance officer, but part of what we do and our systems are set up is exactly to assist our clients and their patients navigate that world. Because you're right, sometimes it's confusing in the United States since it is a privately funded healthcare system. We're lucky with MTBC, they provide us our healthcare if we sign up for it. Yeah. But all those billing codes that the software systems are tech individuals have developed is to run those in the background to ensure that the bills get paid, the clinicians and the physicians get paid for the work they do, and it takes a load off the shoulders of the patients.
Exactly, and it's important. And since we wanted to talk about compliance as well, so there are a lot of grievances, and especially when we talk about people in US, they really want what they want, and they want it that day. So even if it's a 70-inch LCD HD TV, they want it today, no matter what happens. So with compliance comes a lot of grievances as well. And to handle them wisely so that you do not let lose a client is very important. So what kind of strategy do you apply in making sure that their grievances will be answered and that they will be a happy customer for MTBC?
Yeah, so as you mentioned earlier, I'm Chief Compliance Officer for the company, so I am certified in healthcare compliance, and that helped. So along with that, we also have a full team here in Pakistan, a compliance team. They're amazing. They are on top of all those grievances on a daily basis, routine. We have, a schedule every single day. We have calls every day. We discuss any issues that need to be escalated. And they really they're such an amazing team. True. But they are really the backbone that supports the compliance of the company as a whole. Exactly. And that entire team is here. So
wonderful. Yeah. And I still remember, because I used to work in a call center as well. My name was Paul Cooper. used to call people and didn't have an accent then, and then they were like, hey, where are you calling from? And I was like, somewhere around your city. But okay, now let's come down. So we've talked enough about MTBC. Let's come down to the fun part.
Okay.
Because, you know, it's all about traveling, going all over the world, team building, and I believe that, you know, that's the way forward. Because when you work with so many people, 3,500 people world over, you really need to know them and in the right way as well, and make sure that, you know, that they get what they want and listen to their grievances in the first place.
Absolutely.
So what brings you guys to Pakistan? Let's do it individually, because each of you have a very different department. What were you involved with? You guys went to Bagh, Azad Jammu Kashmir. You had a helicopter ride on your way back home. I think everybody's just enjoying rather than us, Maheen. You know, we really need to kind of think outside our job as well. So let's start with you.
Okay, so I have over 400 employees that are located in the Bagh office. I communicate with them on a daily basis. However, we wanted to meet face to face. So I met with the directors, assistant directors, all of the team leads, spoke to them about their experiences, things we could do differently in our communications. And it was a wonderful time. They were so nice, so welcoming to me. And just very gracious. I left, they gave me bags of gifts, local gifts, handmade items. It was beautiful.
I think it's a tradition over here. We really want to make our boss happy. You
Yes.
know, so once she or he goes back, they do not have anything to say to us. But yeah, please go on.
So we continued to meet with the teams, and I did some video chats with the US-based employees so that they can meet all the employees. We toured the facility. We have 10 floors of employees there. We also did a presentation for the 400 women that were on site.
And all of them are women?
No, they're not all women, but 30% of our employees are women. They are, and we did a presentation about women empowerment. I'm personally a mother of 2 children and balancing that life in my professional life. And it's impossible, or it's possible.
Then you're a superwoman, I must tell you.
It's
Yes,
great. So
yes.
what about you, Miss Adamson?
So my primary reason to go to Bagh was to see the office. As you indicated, as legal counsel, part of what I do is field any problems that come our way. That means I could talk to anybody from the company wherever they are in the world. And it really helps me to see where they work, meet them face to face. So the first time they don't hear from me is when something's wrong on the phone. It's always better to go in light, exactly what you said, like a morning show. Go in light, talk to them about what they like
And
about
then
their
ram it in gradually. Yeah.
Talk to them about why they like their city. They were so excited to talk to us about the surrounding region. Some of our legal team here from Islamabad did come up to start the team building meetings, although we'll continue that here in their home plate this afternoon as well.
Wow, that's wonderful. But you know, one more thing, and it just popped up in my mind, and that is that, you know, when somebody's looking after the legal affairs of such a bigger corporation or an organization, they certainly needs to know what kind of rule of law is being followed in other parts of the country as well, or in other parts of the world. So does it get a little challenging for you initially? Was it challenging that, you know, how am I going to sort it out,
Almost
whether how the
scary,
rule
I
of law
must say.
works in Pakistan or probably elsewhere in the country?
So that can be a little intimidating, but again, we're very fortunate here at MTBC. We have 4 US-based attorneys in our legal department. We have 3 based out of Islamabad, and we actually just hired an attorney out of Bagh. So we've really covered our bases there. So I have resources to call when I have those questions, and certainly our chief legal officer here in Islamabad is a frequent call of mine.
Well, that's wonderful. What about you, Natalie? What brings you to Pakistan?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we're here for team building.
Yep.
I also work very closely with the legal team, being counsel for the company,
Right.
as well as the compliance team. And so I've been splitting my time between meeting both of them. And same, they went to Bagh and they met us over there. We're going to continue meeting today and tomorrow. They went and met us in the Bagh office, which was spectacular. It's such an amazing place. It's beautiful. We have a ton of conference rooms that we were just bouncing around to meet along the way. And it was such an amazing experience.
And when you get to see the entire workforce you have been working with, and that too via long distance as well, how does one feel, you know, especially when you do share that responsibility with all of them, that, hey, you know what, you guys are my team, make sure that you kind of make me proud of the kind of work we're doing. So how do you do that? What kind of team building exercises did you do? Did you do some?
So for the most part, we were meeting, just meeting about what are the plans for the future, what is everybody happy doing, what can we change, and kind of what are their interests, right? Because we always want to make sure that we're all happy in our jobs.
Yep.
And so just kind of pivoting and kind of exercises, figuring out what we can improve, what we can change, maybe switch around. There might be an employee that's interested in one thing and not the other, and so that's primarily what we focused on during most of our meetings. But just as Shannon mentioned, getting face-to-face time is such a different experience. I mean, we talk to everyone from the team on a daily basis, but physically being in the same room with them and
totally
having dinner and having lunch, it was just sharing the time together was such a great experience.
That's wonderful. And one more question, a very lighter note, because we have this habit over here, so for example, if we travel the countries, we're like, hey, you know what, I certainly want to just live over here and never go back, So things like that do happen. But when you're working with such a larger diaspora, maybe Pakistani, maybe from all over the world, you might get this very often as well. Madam, can you please call me to US? I want to work over there for you. Or something of that sort. And what is that best answer you give to them? Have that ever happened to you?
It has not. I've actually invited them to come to our facility, come meet my team. They have not asked to come, but if they get an opportunity, we would love to have them and host them in the US.
And this is the first time my Pakistani brethren has actually made me proud. Thank you very much for doing so, all right? We do not ask anybody that, hey, you know what, we need to go over there. Please, do it yourself. The world is an open place. Make sure that you travel and have fun. How much fun did you guys had over here? What did you guys eat, and what did you guys love the most? And where did you get these kurtas from? Let me ask you that.
We brought them here.
Really,
However,
from US?
Yeah.
Wow, that's wonderful. So our culture is going everywhere. Wow, wonderful.
However, I did have a beautiful array of clothing while I was here. One of my good friends back home, who is from Karachi, did lend them to me, so I was very stylish while I was here.
Do you want to share her name as well? Your friend's name?
Jawaria.
Javaria, thank you very much for doing so, all right? You've actually contributed towards Pakistani's great image, good image, and made sure that, we are hospitable people. We even lend our clothes to our friends. We're like, hey, you know what? Go rock it. Yes, why not? What about you? What did you eat over here in Pakistan?
Lots of rice and chicken, and I'm going to feel so bad.
Was that biryani?
Yes. I'm not going to know all the names. They presented it to us so beautifully and always told me the name, and I often had to ask for it to be repeated, but it was all delicious.
I think somebody was telling the name was Nihari.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Nihari. Yes.
I loved everything they served us.
But
it was
what,
fabulous.
over here in Pakistan, what happens is that we are so habitual of eating so many spices that we eventually smell like spices as well. And anybody can tell in the room where are we from? Say, hey, you know what? You had biryani? Yes, you're from Pakistan. Yeah, why not? It's great, and I'm very excited, but we own it as well. What about you?
So I'm going to butcher this, but it's gajab ka. It's
gulab jamun.
Yes. Wow, that was my favorite. It was so good.
It's yummy, right?
Yes, I love that.
I mean, everybody loves it.
So that's
over
your
here.
favorite gulab
That
jamun?
was my favorite.
Your favorite was
I am a bread fiend, so the naan was just
naan.
Wow.
I could
And
eat it
your
all
favorite
day.
was
I like the spicy food, anything spicy.
anything spicy.
And
it was fantastic.
Because you guys are going to be here for another
few days.
few days, so I would want you to try golgappe,
Okay.
chana chaat.
Okay.
I think that's something you should try. Then saji, and then I'll make you a list. All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ladies, for
Thank you
joining
very
us. It was
much.
wonderful
It was
to be in conversation,
indeed.
and it's lovely to have you over here and to have hosted you. And Pakistan loves people coming from wherever they want to come, and we happen to be one of the best and the most hospitable nation, and we want you to have such an experience. Thank you very much once again, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very
MTBC
much.
all the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. And with that, ladies and gentlemen,
We come to the end of this segment.
yes, and we are actually headed towards a short break, but once we are going to come back, we will be in conversation with the son of soil, who's going to do something very amazing in near future, and that something can be really risky. What is that all about? It's something we have set for you after the break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. It's a good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you very much for staying tuned to PTV World. You're definitely watching World this morning alongside Miss Maheen Jaffrey, who's doing a wonderful job. And myself, I happen to be Shahzad Hassan Khan.
Well, and now we're taking you towards the second segment, and we have a wonderful and amazing person here. Could you please introduce him?
Exactly, but before we introduce him, Maheen, I think that, we really need to give away the information because, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was born with a cause. And that's something how I want to value his contribution towards Pakistan. And I believe that each and every individual over here in Pakistan and outside Pakistan needs to know him because of the kind of services he's rendered for Pakistan. And I'm saying it on a very serious note because I've seen him while growing up that he was one of those people who would go to the north just by himself to film a few documentaries and make sure that he's going to raise awareness about what's going wrong with the ecosystem or the biodiversity of the forest he was visiting, traveling, or whatever he was doing. He's always made sure that we preserve what has been left behind, and he wanted to make sure that he works towards the, there needs to be a specific word for preserving the biodiversity, or probably when we talk about the ecosystem, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many different components, which is why we're alive today. And we really need to kind of thank him. But before we do that, and what is he doing now, is something I want to talk about because he certainly does not want me to kind of say all of those words, which I wanted to because the mother's watching as well. Assalamu alaikum, Auntie ji. But first, small video. Go ahead, take a look. And once you guys will come back, we will be introducing this son of the soil. Let's do it.
The river cannot go back. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled. From the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages, and in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter, there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. But there is no other way. The river cannot go back. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear. Because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean.
Well, of becoming the ocean, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who happens to be a travel adventure enthusiast. He's a filmmaker. He's made several documentaries. He's always on top of his work as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we've been joined by the pro himself and the prodigy himself, ladies and gentlemen. He is Mr. Wajahat Malik. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much. My hair is looking fine.
Yeah, at least you've got here.
Because I took a cab here and I didn't look in the mirror. So.
It looks perfectly fine as well, and you should be thankful that you actually have hair on your head as well. I think we really need to put in a lot of effort to make sure that we have hair, all right? But Wajahat bhai, obviously, first of all, I seriously want to thank you on behalf of the entire nation for the kind of work and the kind of contributions you have made whenever we talk about preserving the fauna and flora of Pakistan. But this time around, you've come up with something really amazing, and you're calling it the Indus River Rafting Expedition. What is it? Tell us a little about it.
Okay, as the name suggests, it's about rafting the entire course of Indus in Pakistan. Yeah. So people have rafted Indus. You know, there are whitewater experts who come and raft the Indus, sections of it. But they are extreme sports players. We are not doing that. And then there have been rafting expeditions on the Indus, but from Attock downwards. Right. So nobody's ever actually rafted the entire length of River Indus when it enters into Pakistan at a place called Olding, and then meanders all its way down to Karachi. That's about more than 3,000 kilometers.
And so what you've done is that you've decided to raft all the way from where it enters into Pakistan till the Arabian Sea?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, we'll go down all the way to Karachi, and yeah, that should be great.
Wow, it looks
that involves a lot of risks, maybe.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, when you take expeditions like this, there is a risk involved. Well, risk is involved in everyday life.
True.
You go out and you can get hit by a car.
True.
So for me, that doesn't really matter. It's the bigger cause that matters.
I hope that you can convince your mom with that. You go out and you can be hit by your mom, by your car as well. But Vajad bhai, now what I need to ask is that, whenever you've been on such expeditions, you always had a reason behind that as well, and you always make sure that that you portray and project that reason logically. So what is the reason this time around? Is it just you being adventurous, or is there a better reason to that?
Well, I mean, my lifestyle revolves around adventure. So I'm always seeking out expeditions and trying to thrill myself.
Yep.
And obviously when I film the expeditions, I'm trying to thrill and excite others as well.
True.
That's how I make my living, right? This time around, it's the same thing, but for me, when I want to do an expedition or go on an adventure, I want to make sure that there has to be a cause behind
True.
it. So for us, this expedition is not only just bobbing on a raft all the way down to Karachi from all the way up.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's for a greater cause, in the sense that we basically want to raise awareness about River Indus, which is the lifeline of Pakistan.
Yep.
River Indus gives us life. It brings bread onto our table. It
True.
irrigates our fields. Indus is where civilizations have thrived. Indus civilizations have thrived along its banks for thousands of years.
Yep.
And we are a civilization which is still thriving. And like someone the other day said that, Indus gives us a lot, but we have not given it anything back. So what we want to do is try to protect the river from pollution, from climatic changes that are occurring in Pakistan. We want to protect the biodiversity of Indus River, like the Indus blind dolphin, which is a very rare species in the world. We want to protect the lives of fisher folks, and the fishermen who have lived along its banks for hundreds of years. So all this adds up, and it's going to be also a scientific expedition, because we'll be collecting a lot of data about the depth of the river, how it and when it changes its course, how it's affecting the delta when it's entering the Arabian Sea. So we will be basically taking out a lot of data from this expedition, which will be very, very valuable for the country. We will also be producing an international standard documentary film series about the whole expedition. So we'll have a lot of video footage of the river. True. From the river's perspective.
Exactly.
We will have a lot of photographs. So this is a big treasure trove. So we want to also document the river for posterity's sake, so that the coming generations would know that the river used to look like this once.
Yeah.
Because of human intervention, we are building dams on the river. The British already have built barrages. All kinds of stuff is happening. So before all that happens, we need to document the river in its pristine form. So it's not only an adventure trip, it's also a trip which will be basically very, very conducive to the country, to the people, to this nation. And we will be making news, because nobody's ever done this.
True.
River, rafted the whole river in its entirety. So it will be some kind of international news. And the good thing is that these days, the Ministry of Climate Change and the UN have come up with an initiative called the Living Rivers Initiative.
Exactly.
So we'll call it the Living Indus, which means that River Indus will be declared as a human being, as a living species.
Equal rights.
Equal rights to humans, equal rights to the river, because it's if you think about it, like glaciers, the glaciers, they call they are living entities.
Yeah.
There's plants and there's humans and there's glaciers, and now we want to declare Indus and the rivers as living species. So it's all come together, and you have to realize that Indus is one of the longest and wildest river in the world, and it needs a lot of respect, and it needs to be protected.
And for every word you've uttered, I think it looks like as if you've casted a spell, and thank you very much for doing that for all of us.
This is so deep and this is so meaningful.
Yeah.
So how is whitewater rafting different from what you're doing? Has it got something to do with the flow or the water level?
Well, the northern stretch of the river from Olding, where we'll start our expedition, all the way down to Tarbela is whitewater, which means that the water is flowing very fast, going through the mountains, creates a lot of white water because of the rapids.
Yep.
So when we say a whitewater rafting expedition, which means that people who get thrills out of riding those rapids.
True.
We are not gonna, we'll try to avoid those because River Indus has some really crazy rapids. But we will not do that. We will skirt those rapids, skirt those stretches. So when I say entirety, I don't mean that we will be rafting every inch of the Indus River. That's not possible actually humanly. It is possible, but there are rapids which are actually so huge and tough that even the extreme whitewater rafters in the world try to avoid them.
And you know what, you've earned more respect as well, because I've had people sit on the same sofa and say that they've actually bicycled to the K2 base camp as well. And I was like, hey, you know what, how did you do that? And they said, you know what, we didn't actually got off the bicycle. I was like, it's so hard to believe, so thank you very much for saying that. Yeah. And it gives you more respect, and I want to give you more respect for that as well.
I've actually wanted to make it clear to everyone that we will not be running rapids above grade 3. So grade 3 is a rapid which is runnable in the sense that I have some whitewater expedition, the river guides with me have some whitewater expedition, river expedition experience. So we're not on a suicide mission.
Thank you very much for saying that, because we certainly do not want to lose a hero for ourselves as well and from the soil.
And but one more thing, because you mentioned that, you know, a lot of people these days, due to social media, are coming out and making claims,
attempting,
lying, exaggerating, which is actually a bit ridiculous. And I would suggest to social media and the electronic media to actually authentify before they give out the news. Yeah, and we should not do. It's not about making records or being the first or this or that. You know, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about what you want to do and what you want to achieve.
And how much you are contributing, and I think it's important. And thank you very much that, you know, because every time you're doing something, you always have a reason behind that as well. And, you know, nobody actually ever thought about, you know, for the future generations to come, how would they kind of get to know that how the Indus River actually looked. And I think that the credit is going to come down to you as well, and that's a contribution towards the mankind, because now we live in time where everybody's connected and everybody wants to know about every other place as well, and it's wonderful. But when are you setting off on this rafting voyage of yours? And then what kind of planning is going underway, and how much expense will it take, and do we have other sponsors who are helping you over here as well?
Yes, so first of all, I would like to thank Serena Hotels, who are sponsoring this expedition. It's very kind of them that they understand the noble cause that's behind it, and they understand the you know, immensity of this whole expedition. Also the GB Tourism came on to board, and you know, they're helping us out. So GB government is definitely with us. Tourism Development Corporation of Punjab is with us. PTDC is with us. And we're talking to a bunch of other organizations. I hope they're watching this show and they come on board as well. What is the day today?
It's 17th of March 2022.
So I'm leaving on the 21st of March. So in a few days.
In 3-4 days you're going?
Yeah.
Because and how many rafts are you taking alongside you? Because you never know when one's going to pop, or you know, something, you know, you really need to kind of...
Yeah, we'll be using one raft because we can't use two rafts because we don't have enough people. You have to have a certain weight in the raft, and you have to balance the raft. But I think we might take one extra with us, because if we lose it, then...
And how many people will be on the raft?
So basically what's happening is, since it's a filming expedition, so I have my crew with me. They will be riding those sections which are easy in the raft. Otherwise, there'll be two vehicles with us, a support vehicle and a rescue vehicle, which will be actually
traveling
side by side. And there will be about 7 people in the raft at one time.
All right.
3 on one side, 3 on one side, and one guide at the back. But we'll keep on switching. So the northern part of the trip, we are not taking any guests or experts because of the whitewater danger involved. But once we move downstream from Tarbela, we'll be taking on a lot of experts who will be talking about biodiversity, environment. Actually, we might take guests in the northern part too, but they won't be allowed in the raft.
All right.
They can travel with us, and they
then
can
you can
talk.
stop and then talk to them, and then.
Then we'll be stopping along the way, talk about, you know, like the petroglyphs, or we talk about the environment, and we talk about the Jalavans.
Yeah.
So, is it going to be a full-fledged documentary? I mean, in a compiled way, or you're going to just, you know, post portions of that?
No. We will try to send some dispatches, because there are like.
Because it's very interesting.
Yeah. We would like to. We have a Facebook page and Insta page, and we'll be posting videos.
It goes with the name of
Expedition Indus.
Expedition Indus.
Yeah. So if people are listening, watching this show, they can just go on Insta and Facebook, and then
follow Expedition
Indus.
Indus.
Indus. So they'll
That
basically get videos and blogs and posts as we go down the Indus, and the trip is going to be 45 days.
Yeah,
so that's a
something
long
I
time
was about to
on
ask
the
as well.
river. Yeah.
Wow.
So what's happening is that we will be actually shooting and producing a full-fledged documentary series, 4K, shot on 4K, so that it goes on international channels. And we'll also be bringing out a coffee table book, which will have pictures and the whole.
And that's amazing, and we want to wish you best of luck as well, and let me assure you that PTV World's going to be with you on this journey. Make sure that you keep your cell phone on so that we can ask you, hey, you know what, Wajad bhai kidhar pahunche ho yaar, batao zara please kya location hai, and then you can send us a live location, and we would certainly want to ask you a couple of questions as well. So please make sure that you stay in touch, and we will stay in touch. And once you are back, please make sure that you grace this very show with your presence as well.
I'll come back with, I'm sure, a lot of interesting stories.
Inshallah. And we want you to come back safely, and we want you to kind of achieve your mission. Our prayers are with you, and we stand by you as well. Thank you very much, Wajad bhai.
Thank you, Shahzad and Maheen.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much once again. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, that's how you achieve your goals. You take baby steps, and one day, boom, that's where you go. You know, you're going to achieve it, and you have it inside your heart, you have it inside your mind, you're in sync, and you make sure that whatever you prayed for is going to come true, because you have this power of faith and belief.
Yeah, true. With a positive mindset, we can do a lot, we can achieve our goals, and it's so wonderful to meet such people almost every day now. And this is such a good message that Mr. Wajahat has given us, and we would be really looking forward to following the expedition, and also would look forward to the book that you're going to publish.
Exactly, and that's wonderful. So ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you follow the Indus Expedition pages on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, if there's a Twitter page as well. And then make sure that you write to us on our Facebook page or YouTube page or Twitter. It goes with the name of World This Morning. You can catch the repeat at 10:10 in the night. And look after yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great morning. 1, 2, 3. Good morning.